Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the absolutely wild evolution of Kansas City International Airport. We are talking about an incredible story here, one filled with sky-high mid-century hopes, total logistical nightmares, and a staggering billion-dollar comeback that literally rewrote the rules of aviation architecture. It's really a masterclass in how cities can adapt and completely transform their most critical infrastructure. Okay, so right off the bat, there's this weird paradox that faces pretty much every single traveler flying into Missouri. If you ask locals where you're landing, they'll universally tell you KCI. But take a look at your luggage tag or your boarding pass. It strictly says MCI. It's something that baffles millions of passengers stepping off their flights every single year. So why the huge disconnect? Well, it actually boils down to a quirky mid-century name change back in 1972. Originally, this place was called Mid-Continent International Airport, so naturally that gave it the official MCI designation. But when they updated the name to Kansas City International, they desperately wanted the KCI code to match. The problem? That exact code was already taken by an airport in Kong, Indonesia. And because international aviation codes are super heavily regulated, MCI just became this permanent holdover on all the official documentation. It's a fun piece of trivia, for sure, but it perfectly sets the stage for an airport whose entire history is just full of these unexpected twists and compromises. Section 1. A design dream turned nightmare. Let's rewind to 1972. The airport opens its original horseshoe terminals, and this place was a gleaming, futuristic showcase hub for Trans World Airlines, or TWA. The whole vision was just pure, unadulterated convenience for the golden age of flying. But as we all know, the post-9/11 era changed absolutely everything. New rigorous security checkpoints were mandated globally, and suddenly, that wide-open horseshoe layout, it turned into a severe bottleneck nightmare. There was literally no physical room for modern security apparatuses. Travelers were cramped into these narrow little hallways, completely cut off from restrooms and restaurants the second they passed through security. Eventually, it got so bad it led to the complete demolition and rebuild of the facility we see today. To truly wrap your head around just how hyper-idealistic that 1972 design was, picture walking exactly 75 feet. That's it. That is the exact distance passengers were originally supposed to travel from their parked car directly to their gates. They actually called it the drive-to-your-gate concept. I mean, imagine that today. Parking your car and strolling just 25 yards right onto your plane. It was this beautiful mid-century dream. But in a modern world that demands complex TSA checkpoints and highly secure zones, that exact 75-foot proximity became the fatal flaw that caused the whole airport to fail operationally. Section 2, the billion-dollar rebirth. $1.5 billion. That is a staggering figure, and it represents the cost of the state-of-the-art single-terminal transformation. Just to put that into perspective for you, this is the largest single infrastructure project in the entire history of Kansas City. Planners realized they couldn't just patch up those old, cramped horseshoe terminals anymore. They needed to completely tear them down and usher in a brand new era of aviation infrastructure, starting entirely from scratch. And they went big. The architectural and engineering scale of this new structure completely wiped the slate clean. Located about 24 kilometers northwest of downtown Kansas City, the overall airport footprint spans a massive 10,000 acres. The crown jewel here is the new 1 million square foot single terminal, crafted by the renowned architectural firm Skidmore, Owings & Merrill. They swapped out those dark, narrow corridors of the past for soaring ceilings and tons of natural light. But even more impressively, the facility earned the prestigious LEED Gold certification. That means a heavy focus on environmental sustainability, energy efficiency, and modern resource management. It is a complete 180-degree turn from the old facility. Section 3, Operations and Airlines. Now, who's actually flying out of here? While MCI isn't a primary hub for any single legacy airline, it operates as this high-volume powerhouse for the entire Midwest. Southwest Airlines really dominates the airspace here. They command the largest market share and provide high-frequency domestic routes to major leisure and metropolitan hubs all over the country. But they are heavily backed up by major legacy connectivity. We're talking American, Delta, and United Airlines offering extensive daily schedules that link Kansas City to primary hubs across North America. Plus, for the budget-conscious traveler, you've got low-cost and regional carriers like Allegiant, Frontier, Spirit, Sun Country, and Alaska Airlines rounding out a super robust operation. Now, for the aviation geeks among us, the technical logistics required to run this operation are pretty awesome. The design features a cohesive single terminal thoughtfully split into concourses A and B, housing 40 gates in total. Out on the tarmac, MCI operates 3 major runways, fully capable of handling heavy wide-body aircraft, specifically runways 01L/19R, 01R/19L, and 09/27. And the passenger experience once you land? Totally seamless. You can kick back in an expansive 11,000 square foot Delta Sky Club. When it's time to head into the city, connectivity is a breeze. Travelers have direct access to Interstate 29. They can take the Ride KC Route 229 bus straight downtown, or just easily find their driver at the highly organized designated curbside zones for rideshares and taxis. Section 4. The human element, culture, and accessibility. Beyond the concrete and runways, this new terminal actually acts as a genuine cultural ambassador for the city. Get this, an incredible 80% of the dining and retail vendors inside are local Kansas City brands. They didn't just fill the concourse with generic fast food, they brought the city's soul right to your gates. Travelers can literally sample authentic Kansas City-style smoked meats and legendary burnt ends without ever having to leave the secure zone. It's just a fantastic, deeply intentional way to give visitors a true taste of local culture, even if they're only passing through on a quick layover. And beyond the incredible food, MCI is really pioneering a profound commitment to universal design. They've integrated dedicated sensory rooms and quiet zones, which offer a much-needed escape from the chaotic, high-stress travel environment. They've even included adult changing tables in the restrooms, addressing a huge critical need for families that gets ignored way too often in major infrastructure. But arguably the most ingenious feature is a realistic airplane cabin simulator built right into the airport. This space is specifically designed to help nervous travelers, kids with autism, and folks with disabilities safely acclimate to the whole experience of flying before they ever step foot onto an actual aircraft. It's absolutely brilliant. So, looking at everything we've unpacked today, it leaves us with a pretty profound question about the future of travel. How does a $1.5 billion infrastructure project not just change our flight logistics, but actively reshape who gets to travel comfortably and safely? MMCI stands as a powerful reminder that when we rethink the foundations of our built environment, when we replace bottlenecked mid-century terminals and instead prioritize local culture and highly inclusive design, we really do open up the world to everyone. Next time you fly through Kansas City, whether your tickets has MCI or KCI, you'll know exactly the journey it took to get there. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning how design shapes your world.